Hi guys. Today, I'm Jen for today. I'm just joking. Anyways, hi, I'm Jen. Welcome to the channel Chat with Jen. Um, just straightened out here now. So, yeah, it's been a day. I see what happens if I turn me this away. Then you can't see me. Woo! I'll get this figured out. I'm trying my tablet this time. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I might do it. Still cutting me off, but trying to plug this in here. Well, the benefit to this is if I don't like it, I don't have to post it. So, anywho, I still don't like this picture. It's like, I should have done this before I started, but hey, what's the fun in that? You don't get to see the behind the scenes junk, right? That might work, but I'm not sure it's gonna stay there. It might end up on the floor. We'll see how this goes. Kind of makes me want to put something in front of it so it doesn't slide. Let's see about that. It's probably too big. Well, you can't see it on the picture anyway. But yeah. I get to pick up Bubba tomorrow, which would be really nice. My new caregiver comes. Well, she's my new old caregiver. I usually have her in the summertime anyway. She lives, gosh, I think an hour and a half away, but I told her she didn't have to take me as a client, but she said she really likes the drive. She finds it relaxing. So, I'm not going to argue. My only gripe with her about her was that she liked to sit and talk too much, and I'm not. I love to sit and talk, but there was other things that needed to get done, like she helps me go down and do my laundry and stuff like that, dishes and whatnot. I don't know if you're new here or if you remember. Um I have a problem once in a while where my brain tells me that the doorknob or the kitchen faucet or whatever it is going to electrocute me. And the fear is really real. I laugh because I don't understand it. It's so crazy. But so what'll happen is I can't do it. I can't do the dishes or something. Well, if somebody has filled up the sink for me, I can, but I can't rinse them. Yeah, mental illness is strange. So anyway, today I'm gonna do some makeup. I'm gonna try to. That's why I'm getting my hair out of my face. I had company today. I had people from that options come. You probably have one in your community. They get you grant money that'll get you like projects to do. For instance, I like to do crocheting and cross stitch. You can help me get materials to do that with. Just stuff like that. There's also in that same place, but in a different area in the whichever different department, um, depending on how much grant money they have in their budget, they can possibly help me with reimbursing me for part of the expense it's costing me to get Bubba fixed. Wouldn't that be awesome, guys? Gosh, any little bit would help. Um, so yeah, I pick him up tomorrow. I've paid $460 so far, and tomorrow's probably gonna be 500 or so. Do the math. My check's only 900. Yeah. Then I got his payment 420. I got my insurance 200. It's like my check's gonna be all gone, guys. And then gotta wait till the first for my husband to get paid. Yeah, we both get paid once a month, basically a week apart. So pay all of our bills first, and then we have to live on what's left. So it really gets tight sometimes. February was really tight. He only worked for 1 week, so yeah, that was rough. He sort of works steady in the winter time, but it has to do a lot with the weather. And here in North Dakota, it get downright cold. So this past year was kind of kind of cold, but also his boss owns property somewhere in another state, so he's been traveling a lot there. So Mike's been having to do a lot of the jobs by himself, which takes a little bit longer. Um, but even though it could be more hours, the weather dictates how long he can work. So, um, all those different factors. I know some of you guys that worked construction or worked outdoors, you know what it's like. And I think most of you always got laid off in the winter time unless you lived somewhere that the weather was more mild. So, yeah. So, let's get into doing some makeup. I almost knocked over my lemonade. That wouldn't have been any good, right? You see Nettie in the background, right? Yeah. Whew. Just trying to get closer. There she is. Always where I'm at. She has to be there. She really is a good companion and a good support animal. Um, I had 3 women come here today with that organization, and poor Natty, she's been looking for Aunt Cheryl. She still sits by the door at 9 in the morning waiting for her. I feel so bad for her. So I'm gonna get more protective of Nettie, and I'm not going to let my caregivers or anybody get. Cheryl really worked at getting her to come around to her and stuff, and then to just suddenly leave her, it's like no. I see how much she's suffering. I never thought animals. Well, I know animals recognize people and things, but I've never had an animal to this level where she was actually looking for her weeks after she left. So now I can see now how sensitive my particular cat is. So I'm not gonna let anybody do that with her again. As far as I mean, she did things like she fed her treats, she brought her toys. She really worked hard to get into my cat's life. So, no, that won't be happening again. It's too heartbreaking to watch her in the morning. So, be caregiver that's coming back, you guys. My cat doesn't like her. So maybe she's the best one to bring back. I don't know. If the woman just walks into the house, my cat's hissing and growling at her. Yeah, she's quite the character. We just kind of determined that that's just Nettie's way of talking to her. She does react to my husband and myself differently, so that could be a thing. Yeah. So it is 20 after 11 at night. Tomorrow, the caregiver's coming. Now, this one's name is Coral, like coral in the sea. And she's a little bit older. I don't know, probably in her 60s, so not a lot older than I am. Pretty spry. So, here's the thing. I don't want to tell her not to come because she can only come the one day. And she can stay all day, which is basically she could stay as long as she wanted to because I'm allotted so many units per week. And if she's not coming any other days, she could basically use up the whole week and not the whole week, but she could take a big chunk in a day. Lemonade. I'm told it's good for my kidneys, so the doctor agreed. So that's what I'm trying to do. My kidney failure um, has not improved or declined. No worse, no better. However, some I can't remember which numbers they are have actually improved a little bit. So I'm gonna take it as a win, even though it doesn't improve my kidneys. It just improves. Um, I don't know if it was I don't know, number in production of something or whatever. So if you have not had kidney failure, if you're at a risk for it and don't know, red meat is extremely hard on your kidneys to process. So they don't tell you not to eat red meat, but a lot less of it than you would have like chicken or pork or fish. Fish is probably the best protein. I'm not a fish eater normally, like, no. I'm learning to. Just wasn't raised on it. My mother didn't like it, so we didn't have it. Let's see, what else? I'm gonna put this white multi-stick on. Try to get these a little bit lighter. If you don't know from before, the darkness is a result of my edema. That's the water being held in my body, and it's constantly, if it swells, the skin's constantly swelling and going back down. As you can see, I'm puffy in here, which is most of the time. Um, this one's a little bit less than it normally is, so what I'm gonna try to do is lighten this up. Um, I don't know. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Just depends on how much swelling I have going on. So I do have an indent on in the corner here of my nose. That came from when I was being born. My doctor, my mom's doctor, grabbed me with the clamps, and the one was like in this part of my face, so it left a permanent mark. Oh, let's see. Should I brush that in? I don't know. The light here is kind of stupid too, so I can't really tell. Um, I started playing around with some editing apps, trying to decide if I like, dislike. I've never used them before. Obviously, this is my first time making videos for social media. Yeah, I don't know if this does any good or not, guys. Maybe it looks like Native American, maybe. The stripes and I live here with the natives, but the only time I see them wear the paint and stuff is at the powwows, which we're really lucky that they let us in now to watch that stuff, that they've opened up their community a little bit. But never expect natives to accept you no matter what. Don't expect them to accept you, or uh, it doesn't matter what you say or what you think or what you feel. Um, they don't care. Well, I should say some of them don't. And they can be dangerous. Just as dangerous as they were back in the day. There's still little wars between the tribes here because the Lakota and the Sioux were kind of enemies, and they forced them both on the same reservation together. So some of that hate has been passed down generation to generation. Some have let it go, just like, you know, anybody in anybody races or groups or gangs. Um, I've been told by native friends here that there are certain places I should never go as a white person, that I may disappear and be gone forever. So I don't go to the reservation. I don't. I just don't. And it's like you can be walking down the street, and the most repeated thing I hear is effing white people. Um, they do hold grudges. They do feel that we've stolen from them. And in all honesty, I believe we have. Not us, not our generation, but I feel more for them than any other culture. Um, I really do. I feel like, well, it's a fact. We took their property, their land. We shoved them out of what they had and just took it. And even today, our government does not honor the treaties, and they're still trying to get over on them. So yeah, It's not from yesteryear. It's not like they have no reason to hate us uh, because it is currently still being done. So, funny story. I was talking to one of my native friends, and I don't know if he was drunk or just being silly, but he was drinking a beer, and he was telling me how the Lakota and the Sioux, um, well, probably half of them don't get along with each other. He said there's some of them that if they come across each other, the way they did it back in the day, like if they lined up to fight each other, like confront each other, the the person in charge of that battle would go to the other one and clunk him on the head, and that's what started the battle. So I was laughing at that, and he said, "Doesn't that seem strange?" I said, "Yeah, it really does." And he says, "Oh," he goes, "I can laugh at my own people." So yeah, there's fun stories like that, but there's also not so fun. And one of those going on right now is the Native girls, young women, teenage girls that are going missing. It's almost like an epidemic. Just disappearing us off of reservations and things. So yeah, if you know about that stuff, share, get the awareness out there because this is it's quite a thing in recent years. And there's a particular story about a young woman here in North Dakota. Um, yeah, you can Google it and that. It's from the Spirit Lake Reservation, the Lakota and Sioux tribes, and been 3 years, and there's still no clue. No, it's like she just vanished. And that's usually how those things go. So in the meantime, I'm still waiting for my friends to decide if they want to do an interview on here. They don't like to be photographed video because some of them really feel that it's betraying their um their tribes and disrespecting those that don't like us. So they're being loyal to their tribes, and you know, that's what you do. As the rest of us here, we don't seem to have that sense of community anymore. People too busy backstabbing, stealing from one another. That's one thing I can say about the natives is they stick together. Even when they get angry with each other, majority of them they'll try to work it out between them. And I'm sure that can come from oppression, like back in the days when, oh, well, I can't even really say back in the days, but I guess I could say back when slavery was legal and expected. here in the colonies and things. I'm sure slaves were like that with each other, very close and took care of each other and stuff. I know that my family back in the day, Civil War days before that, had owned slaves. They were in the gosh, I don't know if it was Cotton or not. They were South Carolina, and I know that the family still has pictures of them. They were considered family. They were treated uh, badly or looked at as commodities. Um, I hate even using the word they because they're not really they, it's us. But for lack of better terms, that's what I'm saying. Um, so even as I grew up in my generation, there was never any disrespect made about people of different colors or religions or anything. So when I first started hearing about this stuff, it was like, what? What are they talking about? I thought it was a new thing. I really did, because I never heard of such a thing. So anyway, yeah, my grandmother was, she kind of grew up. She was born in 1921, so in that era of the Depression and that, and there were so many of they considered family, and even after slavery was abolished, they stayed on, and they took care of them. They took care of each other like families do. I'd like to hear about more people that did that. That from the way my grandmother told it, she said they helped. It wasn't like they were relied on for every little thing. No, it was they helped more like doing chores, like you would help somebody when you were staying at their house or something. But probably more so than that, but the way she described it was they didn't treat them ugly. They didn't treat them like less than people or anything or like commodities. She said, her growing up, that was family. I think that's kind of beautiful. At that time, it wasn't like, not like today. Blacks and that didn't have rights to speak of. So if they were with a family that cared for them and things like my family did, they wouldn't, they might not even want to leave. Um, they had everything they needed. Maybe they were being taken care of health wise and things. So I do remember my grandma had a story about someone that he had bad appendix or something. They didn't know what was wrong with him. And at the time, they they got their doctor to come out and did surgery right on that kitchen table. And the guy turned out fine. So, but yeah, I think about that stuff, and I think like my caregivers. I don't think of them as like they're my help, they're my caregiver. But in my mind, I'm in relationship with them. Like we understand each other, we communicate about things. I don't sit there and say, oh, do this, do that, or treat them. I used to joke around with Cheryl because she did so much. I'd say, sit down, take a load off. You're not my slave. And, you know, just, I worked like a slave. I really did. You know, I worked so hard when I did jobs. And, I just tried to do my best. I looked at his look. These people are paying me to do a job. I better do it. And, it didn't matter. I still got treated badly. So yeah, I bet that was rampant back then. People getting used and abused and things. So this makeup's making my face itch, guys. I may have to go take it off. So I keep rubbing it. It itches. But I've been out of that face cream now for a bit, so maybe it's just dry skin. I don't know. What color today? Let's see. I'm gonna do some of the dry powdered makeup. I know I complain about it all the time. It's too dry on my skin. Maybe after I'm done, I'll just go wash it all off because it's getting annoying under here. Let's start with hmm. I'm gonna start with this. It's like a burnt orange color or a reddish right here. It's not really pink at all. But yeah, I'm just gonna try and see the water in there, how it just yeah, just put some little bit of color there. I never thought to use a red on my eyelids until I was watching this girl use it. She was even using a brighter red. And you know, you've probably seen these girls, they wear red on their eyelids and stuff like they would eyeliner. Um, what I noticed with mine, especially with this darkness, it really seemed to help mask that a little bit more so than like if I had worn eyeshadow on there. Like I'm using eyeshadow, you know what I mean, though, the darker stuff that I have no idea what I'm talking about. Oh, I really don't. So, oh, did you guys have a good weekend? Did you watch any of my videos? I noticed my views have gone up. I'm still not getting a lot of comments, but I imagine I watch a lot of different people in videos. I usually don't comment unless I feel strongly about it or something, like really agree with them or have something to add to it. But then your comment gets lost among everybody else's. So, hey, I don't have that problem. Put your comment on there. I've been answering everybody that I know of. You'll be heard. Itches. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go over there and get a paper towel wet and wipe it off. I'll be back. Yep, so I went and got this wet, but I was over there getting the towel wet, paper towel wet, and I thought, well, probably I just need to wash my brushes. I haven't washed them since I bought them, so, and I've been using them. So about Coral coming tomorrow, and she said she can stay all day. However, what I didn't realize, so I talked to her 2 weeks ago. Well, what I didn't realize at the time was I was going to have all these appointments come up. So, no, I didn't know it at the time that I told her. So here I am making all these appointments for Tuesday because I didn't have her written down on my calendar, my day planner. So now she loves to drive. She loves to drive me around even though she doesn't get paid for it. So I know that she would be more than happy to take me where I needed to go. But here's the thing. I'm picking up Bubba in the morning. Supposed to ride into town with my husband. So now it's like I think, oh, I need to wait for her and not ride with him. And she can take me. But then it wouldn't be just pick up the vehicle and come back. Oh, no, no, no. You know, I'm more complicated than that. I've got to go to my psychiatrist, my therapist, whatever you want to call her, at 2 o'clock. So there's going to be this huge chunk right in the middle of the day where I'm not driving all the way back home. No, 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 that's 20 miles. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to hang around town. I told you we got that new Dollar General. I'll go walk around in there and get my leg exercise in. And about the longest I can walk around for is about 15 minutes. And after about 15 minutes, that's when, if I'm purchasing something, I'll head up to the cashier. Because then you'll have to stand there for a little bit. And then there's been times I had to wait for other people to check out. And by the time I get out, my legs are just shaking so bad. So I always have somebody with me, my caregiver, my husband, somebody. Well, now that my friend from karaoke is managing the Dollar General, I would probably feel a little bit comfortable going there because I would know somebody there, and if something happened, then um, I wouldn't feel so freaked out. I do wear it's like a medic alert, but it's called NDEC, and it's from I think social services type thing, the county. And it can actually, like, if I push the button, it can find me anywhere in the country. So I know that if I got somewhere and I fell, I could just tap that button. They talk to me right through the device. Um, so here's what it looks like. And you see, you would push this button and then they talk to you through the speaker. I can wear it as a clip-on, or there's a lanyard that attaches to it. You take the clip off and you can wear it around your neck. So what I normally do is I just clip it right here, or have it in my jacket pocket. It's small enough it doesn't just fall out. But no, I never really, I don't carry it in my purse. I'm always thinking things like if somebody snagged my purse or something, I wouldn't have it then. And it's not like they would return it probably. I don't have a lot of crime around here, but there's some, and um, So yeah. Now my aunt taught me a thing to do with your purse if you, oh gosh, all the years I was in business for myself, I never ever carried a purse. It was usually my pockets or whatever. So anyhow, she taught me this little thing. You know, in those shopping carts, they have those little seatbelt thingies for the kids. Well, you just wrap your purse up in that, your little handle or whatever, so somebody can't just snag it out of there without a little trouble. So if I do have to take my purse in somewhere, I'll do that. But I just went and bought one of those little plastic, they snap together little wallets. Well, the size of it, you're not going to show you my information, but my driver's license. Well, it's just a little bigger than those, and it's got all these pockets in it for all your cards and whatnot. So that will fit right in my front pocket of my pants or whatever. So that's what I usually do, and don't take the purse on. It's got all my insurance cards and that, so I'll have my purse with me, like in the vehicle or something like that, in case I've got to put something in it. But the main reason I'm even doing that is because I'm walking with a cane. I can't carry a lot of things in my hands, or sometimes I'm wearing a pair of pants that don't have pockets. So, yeah. So that was what I put on the top, and I've shown you this a lot, I think, is this, yeah, I just kind of blend it with the pink, so the pink kind of comes up, but not crazy. Then I like to take, now this color doesn't always stay on my eyelids, it's like really, it's like an ivory color, but even when it goes on the brush, see, it doesn't even, you gotta really, pat it down a lot. And then when I get this much on it, that much won't even stick to my eyelids. So I just kind of pat it on. So I don't know why my voice is like this. I feel like a cartoon character or something talking so weird, sounded so weird. Gosh, did you catch my video about the pets? I had a nice lady come in about her, tell me about her German Shepherd. I thought that was so neat. I love hearing about people's animals and things. See, when I put it up, it's almost like it just wipes itself off. I've seen some of the ladies on YouTube, they use some sort of, I don't know, some kind of product that helps your powder set or something. I don't know. I don't know if they have anything that helps it stay on. Let's see, that one stayed on and this one didn't. I don't know. This is weird stuff, but you know it's El Cheapo when it's wet and wild, so some of the stuff I get from that brand is really nice. Like these multi sticks that I got. They feel really good on my eyelids. They're creamy. The downfall to them though is if you rub your eye, and I do because I have allergies, teary eyes and stuff, it'll come right off. Not like totally, but you'll be able to tell you rubbed it. So yeah. Um, To do a little bit of cheek color. I'm not gonna do the eyeliner tonight just because my face is being so sensitive. And yes, guys, maybe I'll just use this eyeshadow brush on my cheeks because I don't want to get those big brushes involved. I get to itch it again. I think I'm just gonna soak them in some, I don't know, dish soap, laundry soap. Let me know, you guys. What do you use, or do you use anything? Or keep in mind, I'm on such a tight budget, I can't afford to just go buy whatever. Let's just start going. So I'm just gonna rub it in a little bit. So I've been told y'all I've been really trying to figure out how to do video editing, and I was playing around with it a little bit on my tablet tonight, and I see all the tools. Well, because of my stupid comprehension problem, I'm really struggling. But the way I've learned to get around that in life, mess with it, go away from it, maybe sleep on it, and come back another time, another day. I had to do that sometimes when my customers would drop off safes to me and stuff to figure out. If it belongs to a customer, it's not like you can trash the thing and break into it like a thief would. No, no, no. You've got to figure it out. And even when nobody's ever told you how, because it's kind of like being a locksmith can be somewhat like being a doctor or somebody that's got to keep up with the times and stuff, keep up with the new techniques and things all the time. Um, there's no set standard, there's no set technique or something you can just carry on to every situation. Even when it looks like it might be really similar, it's going to be totally different. So I just learned to take things one step at a time. Look, look, look before you dive in. Oh, that was especially true with car doors and that. If you weren't careful, boy, you could really mess something up inside the door. You could, like those people that put tow truck drivers and stuff, they put the Jiffy Jack in with the air wedge and they put it through the corner of the door. That can actually spring your whole door, break the seal on it. So go down inside the door with the in and out tool, which goes down and under the window and comes up on the inside. You gotta really look down inside that door and figure out where your tool is going. It can get caught on things in there. It can pull wires out. It can disconnect your control arms that work the door lock and the door handle. But if you've ever messed one of those up and you have to go fix it, you know how to fix it. So then when somebody else comes to you with a door that won't open or whatever else, now you've got the experience and the insight to already know how those work inside. And basically a lot of cars worked the same that way. However, one time I had a Jaguar, I think it was a Jaguar, and they had the automatic lock back on it, so it was an anti-theft thing. So if somebody was getting into the car without the key, as soon as you got unlocked, the car locks would slam back. So trying to get that open with the tool, let me tell you what, it took me a long time, about an hour, and took three of us because I was working the tool and I had a person standing on each side of the car. One was the owner of the car, and one was it was my brother that was with me. And every time I unlocked it, they had to try to pull that door open so fast, and it kept catching. And that relock is darn fast. It did not want you getting in there. Dang, I wish I could remember what brand of car that was. And I'm sure thieves have figured out how to do it a lot faster and whatever, but I thought that was a neat feature on the car. Definitely slow them down. Yeah. So this video is getting to be an hour long, so I'll talk to you tomorrow. Uh, sometime get that appointment and everything, but I get to get Bubba back. Oh my gosh, hallelujah! Drive myself to my appointments again. Get to go to the gym again. So everything's good, guys. Like, subscribe, dislike it if you don't like it. Share it with your friends. Better yet, share it with your enemies. I'm sorry, I keep saying that because I think it's funny. Um, I'm always really kind to my enemies. I don't really have enemies, but like my ex-husband and his girlfriend, they're harassing me all the time. And I used to tell her, I used to call her my sister. I'd say, "Oh, thank you so much." I was always really kind to her. And the more kind I was to her, the angrier she would get. And they'd call me names. And I used to think that was so strange. Like they were sneaking around behind my back for so long. And once I found out, it became like, I'm the kind of person that says, well, either you want to be with me or you don't. If you don't, bye bye. I don't chase after people. I don't go and carry on and be like, oh, what did I do wrong? No, not my problem. It's theirs. So yeah, they used to call me. He would call me 30, 40 times a day. I'm not exaggerating. Just to say nasty things to me. Um, Here's what she would say. Here's the type of things she would say when she called me. She'd say, "I got your man." I'd say, "Good, you can have him." So, yeah, that really seemed to bother her that I was not upset about it. She'd say, "Well, why don't you care?" She was crazy. I really think she was truly crazy. They deserved it. But, yeah, they really thought they were getting something over on me. I caught on to he was doing something, if you're women and maybe even some of you men, if you know what they're doing something. But I'm not the kind to go follow them around and waste my time like that. No, no, no. So the type of thing she would say to me. And then the one day when I said to her, I said, I just want you to know how much I love you. And no matter what happens or what happened, you and I will always be friends. We'll always be sisters. And I mean it when I do that stuff. It's not like a joke to me. Um, but she just got dead silent. Why are you talking to me that way? You're such a dumb bee. I mean, she loved cussing at me and calling me names, but I always just stayed the same way with her, just kind enough. I even said to her one time, you know how you talk to your friends or your kids or your spouse, you say, oh, let me call you back. I gotta do this. I did that to her all the time. I'd say, you know what, I'm driving right now. Can I call you back? Why would you call me back? And I said, well, you called me, so I feel like you probably have something very important to talk to me about, and I don't want to miss out on it. I'm laughing because it enraged her. But I just could not figure out, why are they calling me? They're, he's, he's gone. They're together. Why are they calling me? I don't know. Oh, then when I sold my horses, because I had to come up with money, he had taken all my money. Then he starts, I was literally at the sale barn that had just all sold. And he called my phone because evidently he had gone to my house. He thought he was going to go take a horse that he liked. He called it his horse, so whatever, because it's the one he rode all the time. What did you do with Joe? Where's my horse at? I said, he's gone. Where? And he's getting so mad. And I just said, he's gone. I mean, what else was I going to say to him? He was gone. And he says, where is he? I want him right now. And I said, well, I wanted my money out of the bank too, but you took that, so I guess you've been paid for the horse. Stupid. Yeah, wiping it on the sweat paper towel. It's coming off, but not enough. I do think I need to soak them. So yeah, that's the way that went. So him and he hired some lawyer, and they actually went and subpoenaed records from the sale barn. Well, I didn't sell them to them. I sold them to my friend for $10 a head, and I had a receipt. So, but she had a receipt, and because when you're married, everything gets divided up. That's after you file. Before you file, you can do whatever you want with everything. So, anywho, it just cracks me up whenever I think about it. So they took me to court, and he thought he was gonna get all this money and stuff. And I showed him the receipt for $10 a horse, and they just went ballistic. They accused me of because my friend had run them through the sale of when I sold them to. So it was all in her name and everything. So that's why they couldn't find the records, I guess. And I don't know, she only got like the price of horses was way down. 4 horses sold altogether was like only like 1,200-1,400 bucks. And the only thing that really broke my heart about that was the babies. I had to sell the yearlings, so that kind of broke my heart. Oh yeah, it was 2 of them. So actually, he had taken a horse months prior to that. His dad wanted to ride again. They didn't have horses, but they had property that they had just moved to, bought a house, or they built their own house on. So I sent the older horse over there to for him to ride and everything. I never asked for him back. I never. brought that up in court or anything. So whenever he was going on ranting and raving, I said, well, you got a horse already, so there's nothing wrong with. He was an older horse. He was actually a retired Chicago police horse, so he was basically bomb proof. He was very safe for kids and everything to ride. Um, so yeah, I had a good horse. He got greedy or something. But yeah, I did. I had paid a lot of money for that one, and wasn't really worth the money I paid for him. I paid $1,500, and for his age and everything, and it being a gelding, it just wasn't really worth that. But he was very well broke, and I figured he'd be safe for my husband to ride, and he was. So that's the way that went. So then the lawyer was all like, "Grilling my friend, did you give her the money? Did you give Jennifer the money?" And she got to the point because she'd answered the question so many times. No, I didn't. Um, he started asking her what she did with the money she got. She said, "I took it home. What did you do with it when you got it?" "Put it in my safe." Just it got to the point. She looked at the judge and she goes, "I don't think it's any of my business, any of this guy's business, what I do with my money." And the judge agreed with her and put a stop to it. But he was nuts. It was never like that. The whole, I don't know, 9, 10 years we were together. I never saw that in him. So I don't know. People change. Dang, it's over an hour long now, guys. Gosh, I could get talking and talking. But thanks for being here. If you watched the whole video and didn't fall asleep, everything's good. Everything will work out for our good no matter what. And have a happy day tomorrow. Bye bye.